All right, Jesse. Hello, hello. Welcome to
Howdy.
the coaching call. I'm alive, excited, and full of energy today. What about you?
I am having a wonderful, beautiful day.
That's what I like to hear, buddy. That's what I like to hear. So today we're going to talk about something that we call a blitz, a prospecting 30-day blitz. So why is this a game changer? I've done a lot of these in my career, and every single time we do one of these and commit to it, it produces money. It produces listings, deals. That's what we're looking for. So this is a great time of year to do it. A lot of agents start to take off, start to get relaxed and take off, the next couple months. Not us. This is when there is opportunity to pick up some listings to take you into the new year. If you want to close deals, if you want listings and you want to close deals, January, February, March, now is the time to start looking for those deals and prospecting. Jesse, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is a blitz. And if you're not familiar with what a blitz is, it's energetic, it's sudden, it's aggressive, and it's a very focused effort on getting some results that you want. So first of all, let's have just a mindset checkup. When you want to get a certain result and you want to get it quickly, you have to commit. You have to go all in. So number one, make sure hey, I'm willing to commit to fourth quarter instead of taking off the gas, instead of relaxing. Number two, get accountable. And we'll talk about that a little bit towards the end, but just realize, hey, it's a sprint. I can do anything for 30 days, right? Any of us can commit for 30 days. Even people that are going to be setting health goals on January 1st, they do them for the first few weeks, right? So you can do your sprint, an aggressive all-out attack before you get in your cozy holiday slippers. So, Steve, do you remember we've talked about this a lot, is connecting the dots, connecting your daily income producing activities.
Yes. Absolutely. You got to connect the dots. So what does that mean? It means connecting the dots to the actions that you're taking every day, which in our case is prospecting and talking to buyers and sellers, connecting that to the money and the checks and the income that it creates. So you're going through your day, you're doing your prospecting, you're going to have ups and downs. Some days you're going to feel great about it. You're going to set an appointment. You're going to, all the contacts are going to be really good. Other days it's going to be the opposite. And what you have to focus on is the outcome, what you're doing this for. I'm doing this. So I've set a goal, and my goal is to take 7 new listings over the next 32 days. And I know that when I take those listings at the end of the day, when those close, because listings are selling, let's be honest, there's at least $8,000 commission at the end of each one of those closings. So what's that? 8 times 7. So that's, the end of the year here, I'm going to put an extra $60,000 in my pocket by doing this. What can I do with $60,000? I can do a lot. I can have a nice vacation, a couple of Christmas vacations. Okay. I can buy some nice stuff for my kids. I can do whatever I want. So the freedom, the money, what's at the end of this? It's 32 days for me, and the outcome is going to be a massive reward at the end. All right.
So what do we do first? We need to decide, right? So what is it that you're after? So this is Steve's example. Steve, do you want to walk us through what is your framework of how you're coming up with this?
Okay. So I know that in order to take 7 new listings if I'm prospecting, now keep in mind, guys, you're going to get deals from people that call you, from old leads that you talked to months ago. You're going to get stuff that falls in your lap. This is to guarantee your success. This is for you to be able to predict the outcome. This is a almost guaranteed method. I would say it's probably 95% guaranteed. If you follow this, you will be successful and you'll take the listing. So how do I come up with these numbers? The first thing I do is decide how many listings do I want to take between now and the end of the year. All right. So I want to take 7 new listings. I've already deconstructed it. So I'm starting I'm going to give you these numbers already deconstructed and show you how I constructed it. I'm going to take 7 new listings by December 17th. Between now and December 17th, I want to take 7 new listings. So how many working days are there between now and the end of the year? There's about 50, 45, 50, something like that. But I'm being realistic because we have the holidays, okay? I have kids. I have some business trips I'm going to be taking. So I have narrowed that down to between now and December 17th, there's really about 45. I went ahead and took out 2 weeks of Christmas, okay? So this is the easy way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way. And then what I did was I took out another 10 days. So I came up with 32 days that I'm committed to making my prospecting calls. 32 working days that I've committed between now and December 17th to make my calls. If I want to take 7 new listings, I know that I need to make approximately 100 contacts for every listing that I take. And I know that because I've tested it over the years. And that's a safe number that if I talk to 100 prospects, I'm going to take a listing for each 100 that I talk to. All right. So that means I have to make 700 contacts between now and December 17th during a total of 32 working days. All right. So what does that break down to, Jesse? Number
22
4.
contacts a day. That's simple.
22 contacts a day. So 100 contacts times 7 listings equals 700 contacts divided by 32 working days is 22 contacts per working day.
How long will that take you, Steve?
How long will it take me to make 22 contacts? It's going to take me 2 hours and 20 minutes maximum per day. So I'm not sure about you guys, but what do we say that would be? Let's see, 7 new listings times $8,000 is what? I'm not very good at math.
It's a nice Christmas.
56,000, is that right?
Yeah.
Am I right there? Okay. So where else can you work 2 hours a day for 32 days and make $56,000? If you guys can tell me where that is and guarantee it, I'll quit right now. 32 days, $56,000 for 2 hours a day. All right. So if you can commit to that, you can make over $50,000 over the next 32 days. All right. So what did I put here at the bottom, Jesse?
Oh, if you hit your 7 listings, you go back to your regular prospecting. Or
I take a break. I'm going to take a break. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So when I hit 7 listings taken, I'm done. I'm getting on a plane. I'm going somewhere on vacation and it's over with for the year. All right. So if I take 7 listings between now and the end of the week, you guys are not going to see me anymore the rest of the year. Is that realistic? Probably not. Has it happened before? Sure.
Yeah.
It depends on how hard and aggressive and focused I want to be when I start this tomorrow. Okay. So let's go to the next page.
Who will you call daily?
How do you do this, Jesse? Why don't you go over some of this?
So you have to have a plan, right, on how you structure your day. Now, I've been talking to agents, interviewing them and talking to different agents to bring them, into EXP. And one of the things that a lot of them get stuck on is, oh, I have, all this time. And I'm like, what have you been doing? And they're like, well, I'm an independent contractor, so I don't really have a schedule. I don't have anybody telling me when I have to be at the office. And that is one of the problems, is that because we're independent contractors, we feel like I don't really have to show up, or no one's going to be checking my work. No one's going to be breathing down my neck. I don't have to report to anybody. And therefore, the results are lacking, right? The outcomes that we want are lacking. So we have to make a plan and commit to it. Like, hey, I'm going to structure my day like this is my job, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing to earn income. And doing that, guess what? It turns into results. It's amazing. The people that show up and they do what they're supposed to do, they're going to get the results. So number 1, set aside, Steve just said 2 hours and 2.5 hours basically of calling. Set that aside a time first. Now, there's a book called Eat That Frog. Now, it's very hard to eat a frog. If you were to swallow a frog, it'd be very difficult. But if you had to do it, you'd want to get it over with as fast as possible. So do this prospecting, because you're like, it's not that exciting, right? But you're doing it because it leads to that outcome. So do it first. Schedule it in the morning, 8 to 10:30. So anybody can do, get most of this done before lunch so that you can do all your admin work and follow up and showings and paperwork and all that fun stuff after lunch. So this is what you want to structure your day like. First is figuring out who you're going to call, right? So who we're going to call, expireds and canceled first. And you start with the newest ones. And when we say newest ones is every single day, there are properties that go canceled because their contract expired with their agent, or they expired just because, or they canceled because they changed their mind, right? So those are properties that were, excuse me, on the MLS and they're no longer going to be on the MLS. So they come off the MLS. That's called expired or canceled. Those properties hit every single day because people change their mind. Agents price the property wrong. Homeowners price the property wrong. They don't market it well. Whatever those reasons are, you want to call those people first. Those are hot ones. They've already shown that they want to list. They're already shown they want to sell. They're already shown that they're willing to work with an agent. Call those first and get your first 10 contacts. Then what do we do? Number 2, call your current hot, warm leads. Everybody has leads and we all have the same ones. So you might as well just call them, talk to them, find out how motivated they are, find out if they're ready to work. Hey, are you still looking to move to Florida and before the beginning of the year? Yeah. Okay. When can we meet? Today at 4 or tomorrow at 6, which is better for you? Call those leads and just ask them that simple question. Yeah.
Another thing with that is there's going to be a lot of people that you've talked to this year or recently, whenever, that said they're going to sell they're going to wait till next year. All right. And you're planning on calling them at the beginning of the year or whatever. Call those leads now and ask them if anything has changed, because I will tell you from experience, things change quite a bit. I can tell you that I've missed out on probably 25 to 50 listings over my career because I waited to call them and they listed with somebody else way earlier than they said they were going to. Why would they list now as opposed to waiting to the spring? We have objection handlers for that. That's a great question. Wouldn't you rather take advantage of the historically low inventory of homes for sale and get a full price offer now, as opposed to gambling and waiting until spring when everybody decides to list? You do want to get the most amount of money for your home, don't you? Well, yeah, great. If I was able to get you full price, a price that made sense for you and was able to get you moved before next spring when everybody lists their home, is that something you'd be able to do? Yes, great. Why don't we go ahead and set an appointment so I can come over and see if we can make that happen for you? Is 2 o'clock good for you? Great.
So this is just an addition. Looks like an addition problem. 10 contacts, add another 5 contacts. Then next, number 3, calling for sales by owners.
So the point of this is, you guys, is if you're doing this blitz, the hottest ones that I've had the best luck with are expired and canceled. Call them first. Try to get at least 8 to 10 contacts. That knocks out almost half of what you're going to do. Then you go into your current hot, warm leads, the ones that we just talked about. Try to make 5 or 6 contacts there, and then go to for sale by owner. Why would I call for sale by owner, Steve? Those aren't, those take a long time to convert. Those aren't that hot. Guess what, guys? For sale by owners are frustrated right now because the market's changed just a little bit from where it was 2-3 months ago. And some of these for sale by owners that we're seeing a hot market with cars backed up down the street to see a house the first day it went in the market, thought they could sell their home on their own as, without an agent. Well, guess what? A lot of them are now looking for agents because their home didn't sell for sale by owner. And that's a fact. I've talked to those people. I've listed those people. I've talked to a lot of agents that are having great results with for sale by owners right now because of that reason.
And whatever your mindset block is about that, just get over it, because we've all listed those properties where they said, I'm not paying a commission. I've listed those at full commission. so it's a mindset thing. Just call them and talk to them. They're actually nice people. Just talk to them.
So lastly, number 4, call your past clients and database. So if you get through 1, 2, 3, and guys, listen, I've done this for 10 years. Okay. Some days people just are not answering the phone. It happens. What do I mean by that? Does that mean that I spent 2 hours and nobody answered the phone? No. What that means is I may have spent 2 hours and only got 14 contacts. Sometimes I spend an hour and 20 minutes and I get 25 contacts. It just depends a lot of times if people are answering the phone, if you're calling at the right time or whatever. That being said, if you get through 1, 2, and 3 and you're only at 22 or you're only at 18 or 20 contacts, then start calling your database, people that you have done business with this year, people that you know, your hottest database people, the hot ones that usually give you business, call them and fill up the rest of your 22 contacts and make it happen.
Steve, let me ask you this. Have you ever called where it's, how do you feel when you call 21 people and all of them said, no, not interested, take me off your list, I'm not ready right till next year, but number 22 was an appointment?
That's happened to me probably, that happens to me probably 4 to 6 times a year.
Yeah.
You get all of your contacts done except one, and you almost give up, and then you make that last contact and it's a listing appointment. That's happened so many times to me. It's unbelievable how that works.
And it will work more.
Set the goal, follow through with the goal, and finish the goal every single day. It's only 30 days, guys. I mean, 30 days, you can make $50,000. Is that register with you? Do you know what $50,000 looks like?
I like the sound of that.
The average income in the United States of America is what, 50,000 or less? I don't even know what it is, but I guarantee you it's not $50,000 in 30 days. That's top 1%. You could do that with this system right here.
Bam.
Next.
All right. How do we do this effectively? What do we do to make this work? And so we're not stressing out and going crazy. This is how. This is the nuts and bolts right here. Number one, get the numbers of who you're going to call ready the night before. Whoever you're going to call, if it's in your database, get your database spreadsheet out. If they're in KV Core, open up KV Core, get that list ready. So the next day you're not wondering, who am I going to talk to? Or, oh, now I got to go filter through my emails. No, do that the day before. And then, so you hit the ground running at 8 in the morning. Number two is using a tool. You could use a tool like an auto dialer, like RedX or Mojo. There's a lot of them. Don't get stuck on that. I started without an auto dialer. I didn't have the money for one when I started calling. So I just asked my title company for a list of the people that I was calling. I used my database and I picked up my cell phone and dialed by hand. So do not let I don't have Mojo be a hangup. Just dial, just call those people on that list.
Yeah, and anybody on this call that says they don't have numbers to call, please reach out to us. I'll give you 500 or 1,000 numbers to call. And most of you guys have access to the Mojo dialer as well through us.
Yeah, and if you don't, we'll get you a list. Pick your farm, pick an area, pick an open house you're around. We'll put a list together for you.
Get an accountability partner, guys. I'm going to commit to this and so strongly. I don't really want to, but I know that if I do, I will follow through with it. I'm going to be on the phone. I'm going to give you my schedule as well. I'll show you which days. I'm going to give you 2 weeks in advance notice of what days I'm going to be prospecting starting tomorrow. This is when it starts. So tomorrow and Friday, I'll be doing this. And I'll send out an email to everybody in the group. I'll give you my schedule for 2 weeks in advance, what days I'm going to be on the Zoom call. I'll be doing a Zoom call from 8 to 10:30 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday, 2 weeks in advance notice. So that way I keep myself accountable. We do this all the time. I've done this a lot in the past, where this allows people that maybe, are struggling with the motivation to do it or want to listen in to see how somebody that's got experience doing this operates on the phone, but you can listen in and get motivation just by being around other people on the Zoom, listening to them prospect. You can put yourself on mute, please, when you do that. Just listen to what I'm saying as I'm talking to people. You're not going to be able to hear what they're saying, but you'll get a pretty good idea. Sometimes if there's 2 or 3 people that want to listen in, I will put it on a speakerphone so you can hear. So just show up, and that's how I'm keeping myself accountable. And you can be accountable as well by showing up there.
And you know what? It's fun when you're doing it with other people. Me and Steve have done this hundreds of times over the last decade, and it's fun. We have a good time. And we know we're both working towards our goals, and we're going to celebrate at the end of the year. So it's fun. Just, it doesn't have to be boring and depressing and frustrating. It can be fun when you're on Zoom with, 5, 6 other people making calls and hunting for your business. Now, someone's probably asking, well, it's the holidays, some people don't want to list during the holidays, and everybody wants to wait till January, the end of the year. It's kind of cold and
nobody wants to list, blah, 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 blah. I love this time of year, Jesse.
Yeah. Now, so here's some great reasons why and how you can talk to people. And this is conversations you can have with people. Well, okay, there's less people listing. That's your reason. Okay. Isn't that actually your advantage? That means less competition. So if there's lower inventory, there's less homes maybe on the market. That means you have a better opportunity of being in front of somebody. So that's number one, right?
Yeah, Jesse, who remembers early on in COVID when there was this like shortage of toilet paper? Were people selling toilet paper online for like quadruple the price?
Yeah.
That's supply and demand. Okay. So what does that mean in real estate terms? Typically what I've found, and this is, you can share with the prospects, typically what we find is inventory levels decrease by anywhere from 40 to 50% during the holidays. Yet we also see a decrease in the number of homes sold, but that's only about 20 to 25%. So as you can see, there's still nearly as many buyers as there was earlier in the year, but there's 50% less inventory, which typically means full price or higher than listing price for your property. Don't you want to take it? Would you like to take advantage of that to see if you can get into a bidding war on your property, or at least get full price, as opposed to waiting till the spring when everyone puts their house on the market and the supply is unlimited then? What works for you?
And on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 was really, really serious and really motivated, someone that's out looking during the holidays and during the snow and during the rain, do you think their motivation is like towards that 1, that 5, or do you think they're like a 10, like, I have to move, I need this tax write-off, I need to get out of my place, I had a job relocation, we're having a baby? They're serious.
So, people that are looking at homes during the holiday, looking at homes that are for sale during the holiday, have to move. They're serious buyers. Yeah. Point blank.
They're not the ones that have been looking at HGTV and Zillow for the last 2 years.
They're not out looking at Christmas decorations in their house.
They might rate those decorations. So number 3, Steve already kind of covered, right? You could be one of the only options. Paint that picture for them. You could be one of the only options in this neighborhood, and someone wants to get in this school district. Someone wants to live in this area. Someone wants to live down the street from their family. Wouldn't you want to be one of the only options? And then number 4, Steve, is some people don't really think about, but it's actually very common right now, and that is rent backs.
Yeah, a lot of this is taking place quite a bit because because the inventory levels are so low. As a seller, you have a lot more leverage on being able to do what you wanted, as far as have, the terms of the sale. You have a lot more leverage on what you can negotiate as far as terms. One of those could be a rent back. So if somebody says, well, I'd love to take advantage of the low inventory and get full price, I know what I want for my house, but I don't want to move during Christmas. No problem. If they have a house that's going to sell quickly and it's a nice house, what I would tell them is you have the ability to negotiate the terms right now. And what you can do is we could find a buyer at full price, and then you can do a rent back through the holidays, so you don't actually close until January 3rd or 5th. Would something like that work for you? And it's a realistic option right now.
Very common. Probably, in my experience, 30, 40% of homes have a rent back in the terms. So it's very common. All right. So in order to kind of put all this in place, we definitely need a business plan. So we do have a business plan. You can go to, if you don't have already access to the tools section of our site, there is a month and a quarter business plan in there. So if you don't have access to it, you can go to this link or email me and I'll send you the link. In fact, I'll put it in the chat here. Let's do that. And for anybody here,
you look at this business plan. If you want to go over the business plan with us, most of you on here know that you can reach out to us and we'll go over a business plan with you for the, for now and to the end of the year. And then also going into next year as well. But this is definitely a blitz. I mean, I'm just doing a business plan between now and the end of the year. That's what this blitz is. And for you guys, because I don't think anybody on this call, I could be mistaken, but I'd have to look. For anybody on this call that hasn't been doing this for several years, you might want to make your contacts per listing taken like 110 or 120 and set a goal of taking 5 listings, okay? But guys, I worked my ass off to get, to where I am to be able to list, 60, 70, 80 homes a year. You're going to have to put some work in if you want to be a listing agent. You're going to have to put the time in. So you might have to do 40, 45 days of actual work between now and the end of the year, which if you guys were working anywhere else, you would have to anyway. Not only would you have to put 45 days in, but you'd also have to work 8 hours a day, not 2 hours. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, yeah, Steve, but there's also, you got to go to listing appointments, this, that, and the other. I get it. But eat that frog. You do the most important thing. This is 95% of the whole thing. The 2 hours or the 2.5 hours you spend making those contact calls is what makes or breaks the average agent to the top producing millionaire agent. That's the difference right there. You can schedule those listing appointments all in one afternoon. All right. You're only going to set 2, 3, 4 listing appointments max per week starting out. You can do all those in one afternoon. So you could literally work 2.5 hours a day, another 4 hours one day, and you're done.
And
trust me, I've done it.
There's actually a little secret tip. Does anybody know the best day of the month to call expires and cancels? You could again get a good chunk of your contacts and talking to people and listings from this one day. Does anybody know what day that is? Put it in the comments if you know. What is the best day to talk to do a focused expired or canceled blitz? Anybody aware of that?
Patrice said Monday.
Monday. Okay.
Well, what day of the month?
What day of the month? Yeah. Anybody know? This is a little interaction. Any group interaction here? Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. That's a day of the week.
How about a day of the month? What day? Is it the 15th of the month? Is it the 21st of the month? All right, Chris.
Chris. Okay.
Chris. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. That's called expired day.
Woo!
Expired day.
Money day.
In prospecting parlance, that's expired day, the 1st. And then what is the 31st of every month, Jesse?
It's the second best day.
That's called the dumb realtor day. Because the dumb realtors that made the listing agreement end on the 30th, their listings expire on the 30th, and then they become an expired listings on the 31st. So those are good ones because their agent was pretty dumb, and you're going to be a lot smarter than that agent when you call on that day and take the listing.
So we're saying call on if you're going to do a blitz focused on expired and cancel, call on the 30th, 31st, and the 1st, and you're going to get a lot more people, and everybody else is snoozing while you're talking to.
So yeah, let's go back to that. So if you're doing a blitz, make those days the days that you do double or triple calls as far as the number of calls you make, and eliminate one of the other days at the end that you don't have to then make the calls. All right. Any questions?
I did post in the comments the link to the quarter business plan if you need to make one for the last quarter, as well as a link to some of the scripts and things on the site. But this is only 30 days. You guys got this. You guys can do this. 30 days. Psh, that's before Thanksgiving. You could be done. This is you guys can definitely crush it. I've had most of my best quarters have actually been the 4th quarter, believe it or not. I don't know how. It's just that hustle, like let's make it happen. Closings are starting to happen. You get momentum. You want to have a good end of the year. You guys can. Yeah,
you want to have a good Christmas and enjoy the holidays. Do this because you're going to feel so much better about going into the new year, knowing that you either have 2 or 3 deals under contract already going into the new year, or you have several listings that are coming up or listed. And some of these listings you take, I don't care if they're not going to list until January 5th. Go out there and get the listing agreement signed. Why would they let you do that? Or why would you want to do that? That's a great question, because what I will do when you sign the listing agreement is we'll sign what's called a private listing network agreement. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to list your house until the first week of January, but between now and then, every realtor, every buyer that's in the market is going to know about the property. And when that hits the MLS on the second week of January, you're going to have a line coming out the door of people wanting to see your house, because they're going to know that it's not listed until then, and they're all going to want to see it. Because I'm going to market the property between now and then to everybody I know.
Who's in? I want to know who's in. Somebody email us if you're like serious about this and you're like, hey, I need help with this. I want to do this. Email us, send us a message. We will help you get a list together. We will help you get this going, because
let's do this, guys.
Shoot us an email. I think Patrice asking, do you use a private listing?
Every single listing, yes. I take a private listing agreement with me to a listing appointment every time, because number one, I've been doing it ever since they allowed us to do it, but now the rules are such that you only have 72 hours to get the property on the MLS after it's, or show the property after it's active. There's rules that you have to get the property on the market at a certain amount of time after signing the listing agreement. But the private listing agreement allows you some leeway there to be able to hold the listing and not put it on the MLS right away. So it allows you a lot of leeway and time to get your marketing materials together and market the property before it goes listed. We'll talk about that more, Patrice, the different things that we do to get properties pre-marketed and sold like that. All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody being here. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk. If you're going to do this, I'll be on tomorrow at, 8 to 10:30. 10:30. Woo! All right, guys, I'll see you then.
Holler at us.